Hi, I'm Kai. Welcome to ClearKai, where we make learning clear and simple, one step at a time. I'm both a mom and a teacher, and I started ClearKai while helping my own kids prepare for the SSAT. That's the secondary school admission test for students applying to independent schools. If you're also getting ready for the SSAT Upper Level or just want math to finally make sense, you are in the right place. These videos are designed to help you feel confident by breaking math into small, easy-to-understand steps. Today, we are starting with how to solve linear equations using a simple two-step trick that works for almost every algebra problem you will see. Let's start with what an equation really means. An equation is like a balanced scale. Both sides must stay equal. If we change one side, we have to do the same thing to the other side. For example, here we have 3x plus 5 equals 14. If we add, subtract, multiply, or divide something on the left side, we must do the same on the right to keep it fair. That's the most important idea in algebra, balance. Once you understand that, everything else becomes much easier. Now, step 1, simplify both sides. Simplifying meaning combining what's the same to make the equation easier to work with. Here's the 2x plus x plus 5 equals 11 plus 3. On the left, 2x plus x gives us 3x. On the right, 11 plus 3 gives us 14. So now we have 3x plus 5 equals 14. Much simpler and easier to read. Simplifying is like tidying your workspace before starting homework. Once it's clean, you can see exactly what you need to do next. Always simplify both sides before isolating x. Step 2. Isolate the variable. That just means getting x all by itself. To start, we remove the plus 5 by subtracting 5 from both sides. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. When we subtract 5, the plus 5 disappears on the left, and 14 minus 5 becomes 9. Now we have 3x equals 9. Divide both sides by 3 to isolate x, and we get x equals 3. That's it. Simplify and isolate. 2 simple steps, and you've solved your first equation. Let's review the two-step rule. Step 1. Simplify both sides. Combine like terms and make it neat. Step 2. Isolate the variable. Move things away from x until it's done. These two steps work for almost every algebra question, especially the ones on SSAT Upper Level. Once you start seeing equations as balance problems, solving them becomes so much simpler. Now that you know the method, simplify and isolate, let's try it on some real SSAT-style questions. These are the kinds of problems you will see on SSAT Upper Level Math section, where the equation looks a little more complicated, but the same two steps always work. For example, look at this one, 1/2 times a parenthesis. That fraction might look scary at first, but all we will do is multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of it. Easy. The next one, introduce distribution, where you multiply a number by everything inside the parenthesis. We will handle that step by step. And the third one, mix subtraction and parentheses. The trick here is to remember that the minus sign flips everything inside the parenthesis. So even though this looks tougher, it's still the same two-step rule. Simplify both sides, then isolate the variable. Let's go through each one together. Let's try our first SSAT-style question. 1/2 times the quantity x minus 9 plus 5 equals 3x minus 12. Here we have a fraction, and a lot of students get nervous when they see 1/2. But don't worry, we will use the same two-step trick. To get rid of the fraction, multiply both sides by 2. That clears the denominator. Now the equation is much easier to work with. Combine like terms and then isolate x. Whenever you see fractions, start by clearing them. After that, it's just simplify and isolate. Step 2. Isolate the variable. That just means we want to get x all by itself on one side of the equation. Here we have x plus 1 equals 6x minus 24. Since x appears on both sides, the first thing we will do is subtract x from both sides so that only one side still has x. Now we have 1 equals 5x minus 24. Next, let's move the negative 24 by adding 24 to both sides. That gives us 25 equals 5x. Finally, divided both sides by 5 to isolate x completely, and we get x equals 5. And that's it. By doing the same thing to both sides, we kept the equation balanced and solved for x step by step. Alright, now that we have warmed up with the basics, let's try a tougher SSAT-style question. Take a look at this one. 4x minus 5 plus 3x equals negative 3 times the quantity x plus 5. It looks more complicated, right? But don't worry, the same two steps still work. Simplify both sides, then isolate the variable. This time, we will need to distribute the negative 3 across the parentheses, and then combine our like term carefully. Let's go step by step together. Step 1. Combine like terms on each side. Our equation is here. Let's start by simplify each side. On the left, we have 4x plus 3x, which gives 7x, and we keep the minus 5. On the right, we will distribute the negative 3. That means we multiply negative 3 by both terms inside the parentheses. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. So now our equation becomes 7x minus 5 equals negative 3x minus 15. Everything is simplified. Now we are ready for step 2. Step 2. Isolate the variable. We have 7x minus 5 equals negative 3x minus 15. Our goal is to get x all by itself on one side. Let's start by adding 3x to both sides. That moves all the x's to the left side. Now we have 10x minus 5 equals negative 15. Next, we add 5 to both sides to move that constant over. That gives 10x equals negative 10. Finally, divided both sides by 10, and we get x equals negative 1. That's our final answer. The key steps were combining like terms, then isolate the variable, one move at a time. Alright, now let's try our next SSAT-style question. Here we have 3x plus 4 minus the quantity 4x minus 9 equals 17. This one looks tricky because of the subtraction sign in front of the parentheses. But don't worry, we will use the same two-step method. First, simplify both sides, then isolate the variable. Step 1. Combine like terms on each side. Let's start with 3x plus 4 minus the quantity 4x minus 9 equals 17. The minus sign in front of the parentheses means we need to change the sign of everything inside the second group. So negative 1 times the quantity 4x minus 9 becomes negative 4x plus 9. Now combine everything. 3x minus 4x gives negative x, and 4 plus 9 gives 13. That simplifies our equation to negative x plus 13 equals 17. Everything's cleaned up. Now we're ready for step 2. Step 2, isolate the variable. We have negative x plus 13 equals 17. Let's start by getting rid of that negative x. To do that, we will add x to both sides. That gives us 13 equals to 17 plus x. Now we want x alone, so we will subtract 17 from both sides. 13 minus 17 is negative 4. So our final answer is x equals negative 4. See? Even with parentheses and the negative signs, it's the same two-step method. Simplify, then isolate. Great job! This was a tough one, but you did it step by step. Let's recap what we have learned. Every equation, no matter how simple or complicated, can be solved using just 2 steps. Step 1. Simplify both sides. That means combine like terms, distribute when needed, and make the equation as neat as possible. Step 2. Isolate the variable. Move everything except the variable to the other side, using the same operation on both sides to keep the equation balanced. That's it. Simplify and isolate. It's the same process whether you're working with parentheses, fractions, or negatives. If you follow these 2 steps carefully, you can solve any SSAT-style linear question. Great work today! You've just mastered the 2-step method for solving linear equations. In our next ClearKai lesson, we will take it up a level and tackle some more challenging equations, the kind you will see on the harder SSAT problems. We will look at equations with parentheses on both sides, like this one. Negative 2 times the quantity 3 minus 5 equals 5 times the quantity 2, x minus 12.5. We will also walk through powers and fractions, learning how to handle all of them step by step. So if today's lesson made things click, make sure to watch the next one and keep building your confidence with every equation. I will see you in the next video right here on ClearKai, where we make learning clear and simple, one step at a time.